What's up, everyone? The Lord's here. Welcome back to another vlog. Has been a long time, admittedly, since I've made anything like this. Just combination of being busy, but also just not a whole lot of Walking Dead news. There were a couple of early photos of Andrew Lincoln filming the new Rick Grimes show, which is incredible. For the longest time, we didn't even see any trace of him doing. He was, off in England, and then he was doing this, I think, Penguin, some film, indie film in Australia. He was doing theater stuff. I would know this because there's an Instagram page that follows the happenings of one Mr. Andrew Lincoln. So, but now he is. I guess the filming is in New Jersey, interestingly enough, but also Georgia. So I guess some of the CRM, because the popular theory is that the base that Rick is at least, one of their hidden headquarters or whatever it is Philadelphia. And so if, for whoever knows the geography, Philly is just separated by a river. And that's how you get into. It neighbors New Jersey, essentially, just separated by a river right over the bridge. You get into the shittier parts of New Jersey, such as Camden. Do not go there. I myself have not been, but I used to live in New Jersey for a period of time, fun fact. More the northern parts. So nothing in the contentious areas, shall we say. But it's funny because some of the updates that I've been seeing on the Andrew Lincoln Instagram page have actually referenced his appearance at some various locations. And some of these I was aware of. There was a record store I had been in a long time ago as a kid. And then all of a sudden he's there with the owner or a fan or something. And I'm like, oh, he's just kind of browsing the local area. And I wonder what part he's residing in, if it's a hotel or if it's... That'd be funny, right? You go to a hotel or something, and all of a sudden, there's freaking Andrew Lincoln just coming out of the hotel. Because when I went to Walker Stalker Con 2019, he had stopped doing them. Years before, I think 2017 might have been the last year that he did them. And, I've wanted to meet him, get his autograph for a long time. I did meet some other actors. You can see all those videos. Actually, it was really just one video I made in 2019 where I reviewed my trip to Walker Stalker Con 2019, which ironically ended up being the last one that they ever did. Funny enough. A combination of COVID, and then there was some mishandlings by the senior staff. And I don't know if they've rebranded or what's gone on there. I don't really keep up with it. Really no interest in going to any future Walking Dead conventions. I still do go to PAX East. I guess that's a general update for the channel that I'll be going in... When am I going? When the hell is PAX East? Not this coming weekend, but the weekend after is PAX East. So I will be going to that. Which should be fun. If you guys remember, for any of my fans who are longtime fans, I used to film some of the new video games at PAX East and cover it. And at the time, there was a lot of buzz because a lot of the big game developers used to go. I remember 2014, they dropped some Watch Dogs footage that hadn't been released yet. And that video alone got close to 200,000 views or something. It was nuts. And this is back when I was with Machinima, and the YouTube CPM rates were way higher. So, being in college at the time, that was a fun little way to make some extra cash. I will say that. But PAX has kind of stopped that recently. Or not recently, really. Shit, they every year it got less. 2015, 2016, 2017, less and less and less. It became more indie, and that's what it was originally, right? It started off as indie, and then it got really mainstream, especially PAX West, because PAX West is the one on the West Coast in Seattle, and so that's closer to, Amazon, Microsoft, like a lot of the West Coast companies. Even if Sony were to fly over from Japan or whatever, Nintendo, it's right there. It's in their vicinity to get to before, like for Boston, that's a way farther distance. So, I mean, PAX West was way more mainstream. I never went to PAX West, have gone to PAX East pretty much every year since 2012. I even went to the one right before COVID, PAX East 2020. It was like 2 weeks or something before COVID shut down fucking everything. And, they were able to squeeze that event in right before everything went to shit. So that was fun. Not fun. There was no PAX East 2021. So that was the only year they missed. And then I did go to it last year, which was pretty cool. And again, I look at it. I've reserved myself that it's just indie at this point. And also I go to hang out with friends. There are some friends I have who still like to go. So I go with them, watch some panels. If there's new game footage, check it out. Like, it's just, I peruse whatever's there. It's kind of almost like a tradition at this point. And then, I go home. So, I don't know how I got off on this tangent from talking about Andrew Lincoln and The Walking Dead. I guess this video, I was making it because I realized I haven't made anything channel related in a bit that's just addressing like what I'm doing. Because I've recently discovered how to upload videos to my YouTube channel from my PlayStation 5, which was if you guys were like, holy shit, the Arid Lord finally uploaded a video game video, that was from Dead Space Remastered. There was this one level that was really bizarre, and I was trying to like explain to people why I thought it was stupid. Some things never change, but I was trying to figure out how to because I knew you could like upload it and do commentary, because like when you hit like the mic button, you can actually talk. So I was like, oh, this is like, I don't need the Elgato. Like, the modern consoles have, absorbed what people were doing with the game capture devices back in the day. And I still have my Elgato game capture somewhere. I think it's in a storage box. Fucking, I don't know where it is, really. But I'm like, oh, this is a cool method to record. Because for the Elgato, it was this convoluted setup where I had to have my computer right next to my console, and then the Elgato had to be plugged into the computer, and then the Elgato had to be plugged into the system and the computer, and then I have to hit record, and then the video like downloads to my... It was just a lot of steps. Now, back in the day, this was the only way to do this. When I was doing a lot of video game footage, I mean, I used a camera at one point, but late 2012 and beyond, when I was doing gaming stuff, that's how you did it. In 2013, I had a series, The Countdown to Grand Theft Auto 5, and I played every single GTA game in order. That was primarily how I did it, because there were a lot of parts to that playthrough. So, but this opens up the opportunity to upload video game footage. Like, if I come across something that is funny or whatever, I can rewind and upload it. And it's funny because I'm like just realizing that I could do this. But I guess I never investigated it because I've moved away so much from gaming on the channel. I talk about it, but it's just something where I only play just random games in my free time. Like, I played the new God of War in the fall, winter, and then I got Dead Space Remastered because I played... Fun fact, Dead Space 2 is actually the first full game playthrough I ever did on my YouTube channel. So I was like, I've never actually played Dead Space 1. Let me get the remaster. So I actually just beat it the other night. And that's the thing, like, games take me longer to beat because I'm busy. I have other stuff going on. So it's like, I'm not going to like beat a game in like 2-3 sittings. Usually these games take me like a month and a half, because it's just like, when I have free time, it's like, oh, I have some free time. Let me dabble. Oh, I have free time this night. Let me dabble. That's kind of how I do it. So if you see gameplay pop up on the channel from every now and then, that's why. Now that I've beaten Dead Space Remastered, I don't even know what I'm gonna play. There's not many games this year that really interest me that much. I mean, you're talking to someone who used to buy like almost all of the major releases at one point. but that has certainly changed. I know the new Harry Potter game's been out. I've read all the books and watched all the movies, but I'm not like a Pottermore fan like a lot of people are. I'm not obsessed with it. There are other franchises and series like The Walking Dead that I have far more interest in. So, not saying Harry Potter's not great. I think it's fantastic. It practically invented the young adult genre back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So, hats off, obviously. And as a writer, it's a huge source of inspiration on the side for all my side hustles. But again, it's like one of those games where you gotta like put time into it and stuff. For me, the games that I enjoy playing these days are more linear. That's why Dead Space Remastered was perfect. Linear, 12 chapters, boom, 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 like, and I can just pick it up. Like, oh, I beat a level, or I got to a save point, save the game, turn it off, come back 3 days later, resume. Like, the way Dead Space was laid out was perfect. And God of War Ragnarok worked the same way. So that's pretty much, hence why I said, like, later this year, the new Spider-Man game from Insomniac, that falls into that category. There's obviously, like, the big AAA games that are just been kept quiet. Elder Scrolls 6, GTA 6, those are like the blockbuster ones. And of course I will get those. Again, how much time I have to play them, I don't even know what I'm going to be doing when those games come out, because this living situation is temporary for me. I'll be moving somewhere later this year. I don't know where. But, a lot of, again, like there's a lot of stuff that's changing in my life. Like I'm not a college student anymore who can just, play games and just focus on that. I almost kind of made that, like at the one point, the channel was like where I invested my time. And that's changing, but, or that has changed. So anyway, I've spent 12 minutes talking about PAX East and my history with video gaming on my channel. Fantastic. My original point was talking about the fact that we just don't have a lot of Walking Dead news. And maybe that's why I wanted to basically do like a channel update, because I felt like I needed to fill the void with something. The only other news that I can even reference is they wrapped up filming on Fear the Walking Dead, and that's it, because season 8 is the final season, and they wrapped up filming recently. So, okay. I mean, I saw a trailer recently for it. The whole Padre thing with Madison. I will maybe tune in. Again, I have not watched season 6, season 7. There are 2 full seasons of that show that I have just not watched. I'm sure I could just binge the fuck out of it and just get through everything. I don't know. Is it on Netflix? I mean, I hope it is. I mean, the original Walking Dead's all on Netflix now. But if I have to sign up for AMC Plus something, like, there's no fucking way I'm doing that. The only reason I'd even consider it is to watch the freaking Rick Grimes show, or, any of the other spin-offs that we're waiting for. But for me, like, I'm interested in what happens to Morgan's character. Seeing as how he was in the very first episode of the entire series, just like Rick. So seeing what happens to him also interests me as much as Rick's fate. So obviously I care about Rick's fate more. But I'm curious, and I'm curious, maybe is there going to be a crossover into any of the spin-offs? Maybe the Rick spin-off, maybe the CRM gets involved somewhere towards the end of whatever's going on. The CRM has been in Fear the Walking Dead a couple times. There was an episode I covered from season 5 where Althea, it's like a lesbian, this girl Isabel, she's a CRM soldier, and they form kind of like, it's like a lesbian relationship episode. At the time, I thought that they were going to spend more time talking about the CR, but they didn't. And then they ended up just wandering around with random crap, and it really pissed me off. There's a video on my channel. I just go off on Fear the Walking Dead. I think it was like mid-season 5 because I was trying to give the show a shot. And that was where I tapped out. I was like, this is just, I don't like the pacing, the characters, just nothing's working for me here. I think it was the episode where they had the fucking balloon. You know, like they had the balloon, like the beer balloon, and Charlie and whoever the hell else, they're like flying in the balloon. I'm just like, what am I watching? You know, because unlike the original Walking Dead that has a purpose and there's a point and it's based off the comic material where there's like a definitive ending, with Fear the Walking Dead, it's just like, oh yeah, like people are just doing shit. You know, again, that was always the problem with it, in my opinion. It turned into The Walking Dead 2.0 with no strategic end in sight. I thought from the first season it was going to be based on how things fell apart before the apocalypse, but by the end of the first season, we were already in Walking Dead territory. And I'm just like, okay, we already have another show with characters we care about far more. Now, I know some of these characters ended up being favorites. You know, Alicia being one. She was in the show for a while. And then obviously Madison. So there were some performances that stuck out. But for the most part, like it just, I think, you know, and then that's why like they changed up the formula. They're like, wow, we really got to change the formula. So season 4, they brought Morgan over, and then they eventually brought Dwight. And so they tried adding in like characters from the original show to garner interest, and then they started making like these other caricature characters like John Dory. And again, some of it was hit and some of it was missed, but I don't know. Maybe there'll be an excuse to watch Fear the Walking Dead, and I'm probably going to be scrolling through YouTube, and it's going to be like season 8 finale, Morgan dies. It's going to, I guarantee, like, so, like whenever the finale of the final series finale of Fear comes out, I'm going to get fucking spoiled, and it's going to be like, oh well. I guess now that I know that, I don't have to watch, 20 episodes of, season 6, 7, and 8 of Fear. I do know Alicia left the show. It's weird. She left the show just in time for her mom to come back into the show, which is fucking hilarious. I mean, that's kind of weird. I don't know, like, maybe Alicia would come back for one bonus episode just to reunite. I don't know. It's also weird that she would leave the show. Like, if season 8 is the final season, why wouldn't she just stick around for, like, that's just like, hey, like, we got one season left. Like, grind it out, tell your story, and that's that. Kind of curious that she, she was from the first season, seasons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then she leaves. I'm like, wow. That's, okay then, So, anyway, that is, I guess, it. Just a general update on things and stuff, in the words of Mr. Rick. The show doesn't even come out till next year. Once the Negan Maggie, I mean, like, really on my radar for this year, Negan Maggie show. When that comes out, I'll cover it. I had someone comment the other day that they wanted my What If series to continue. I've covered a lot of groups in the past. The one that was cool that I did that was most recent, it was back in December, it was Commonwealth vs. Saviors. I covered a bunch of other groups. Like, I did Whispers vs. Saviors, Wolves vs. Whispers. Like, I did, like, kind of some of our enemy antagonist groups against each other. Some just have clear-cut winners. Like, one that I could do is, like, the Governor's group at Woodbury versus the Commonwealth. We kind of know who would win that. Just on sheer numbers alone. So, unless the governor can charm everyone and then work his way from the inside and take everyone out, kind of like he does with that military outpost that he fools. But yeah, those are ideas for other vlogs. If I'm really starved for content, which I have been recently. I mean, the show ended. I mean, The Walking Dead ended. And as you guys know, and I talked about this last year, that I was going to conclude the channel. I was going to stop making videos, and once the Walking Dead season series finale aired and I did a reaction and discussed it, I was going to just say, that's it. I'm doing other things. I'm trying to be a writer, and I'm trying to build a brand from that, which is I talked about this in my 12-year anniversary video, which was December 27th, a couple months ago. Holy fuck, we're like 3 months into 2023 already. But I talked about that, how I have these side hustles that are becoming more serious with writing. And so the YouTube stuff is just, I can't do it as much anymore. I still like to do it. There are still 12 years worth of historical content on this channel. All of the game playthroughs I did as a kid, all of the Walking Dead reactions, all of the prediction videos for the Walking Dead, the different conventions, E3 2013, which was a huge one since E3 is basically just doesn't even fucking exist anymore. And then PAX East, there's college memories of playing games with friends, different videos that we did. There's a huge history. It's an archive of my life for 12 years, which is great. But, I'm moving into new stuff, and I'm still finding the time to make videos like this and do the channel off and on, but it is becoming a greater challenge. So it's all stuff to consider, mainly for myself, but, as I make new videos and stuff. But continue to suggest stuff if, there's a video you want me to make. I did see that one person's comment about doing another What If series video, because I made a new one for the Commonwealth and the Saviors. And so people, that person liked it, and it got decent attention. Like, compared to some of my other videos, it got a couple, it got good viewership. So I was like, oh, okay. Like, if I just threw this out there on a whim, like, if people want to see more of this, like, I will oblige. So on that note, thank you guys for watching. 22 minutes. It's basically like an update video. I didn't have much Walking Dead news for you. The only news I really mentioned is that Andrew Lincoln's been, taking pictures with fans around New Jersey as he films his new series, and that Fear the Walking Dead has concluded all of its filming. Season 8 will be coming out sometime this year. I won't probably really be covering it. My friend Jeff, The Walking Dead World, his Twitter account most likely will. So, he's a perfect source for updates. But anyway, thank you guys. Appreciate your viewership, and I will see you for some more content in the future. Peace out.